Moto2 kicks into gear for round 15 of the 2024 season. It's our first of the flyaway races. 6 races to go in 2024. Our first stop is Mandalika for the Indonesian Grand Prix. Let's join TNT Sports ahead of the race action.
Like a bag of nerves, isn't he? You see it when he's interviewed. He's constantly touching his hat and everything. But let's see if he can get that energy and direct it in the right way in this race. So let's have a talk about Dennis Onchu then. He's going from the 4th row from 11th.
Yeah, all action on Chu. He has entertained me more than any rider this weekend. Whenever the cameras are on him, he's been overriding that Moto2 bike. We know he likes the bike moving around. He's been forcing it a bit too hard. If he could just take half a step back, I reckon he'd find a second. It's just like, you don't need to rush every corner, but...
a case of trying too hard.
Too hard, yeah, and he's in that period. He's a rookie. That's a learning curve of getting the most out of these Moto2 bikes. There's some tracks, when you've got grip, you can force it. When there's low grip, you have to be gentle with the bike.
I was going to say, is this one of those tracks where you almost have to come back a little bit, not try too hard?
Yeah, it's like Sepang's the same. Whenever you're there, it's hot, greasy, low grip track. If you force it, and what's strange is you force it, you feel like you've done the best lap ever because the bike's been moving. You look at your lap time and it's slow. And then the ones where you just relax, you let the bike literally do its own thing. That's how you get a good lap time. And with the Pirellis, that's how you save the tyres.
And he couldn't find one, Celestino Vietti, this weekend. He's got to go from 18th.
Yeah, again, race pace not too bad.
Bang at the front last weekend. It's extraordinary.
I know. Well, it sort of sums up Vietti's season, that real roller coaster up and down. I mean, he's got a much better pace than 18th, but starting from 18th on a narrow racing line, hard to pass, he's going to need the start of his life if he wants to even think about a podium. You
mentioned there how hard it is to pass here, and it's a slippery track. So what do you think we're going to see in terms of this race? Will we get a pack, or do you think it'll get strung out?
I think it's going to get strung out. I think there's a handful of riders that have got the pace to string it out. I think if Canet can get the whole shot, he's got the chance to break away. And obviously, like I said, he's not a natural winner. It sounds horrible saying that, but he's not a natural winner. I think the only way he can win it is by literally getting the whole shot and going from lap 1.
Well, he's in pole position, so let's see what he can do from there as we pan across the front row of the grid. Ayagura, Jake Dixon and Aaron Canet. Let's hand over to Michael and Gav.
Here we go then, time for the Moto2 Grand Prix of Indonesia from here in Mandalika in Lombok. Moto2 about to get underway. Here's your starting grid then for round 15 of the 2024 season. Aaron Canet's on pole position. Jake Dixon alongside him, and Ayagura starts third. It's Manuel Gonzalez ahead of Fermin Aldeguer and Alonso Lopez. Tony Albarino ahead of Joe Roberts and Songkat Chancha. Jeremy Alcoba is 10th. Dennis Onchu 11th, and Barry Bolter starts 12th. Dan Binder is 13th with Albert Arenas 14th. Sergio Garcia is 15th. Senna Igas 16th. Juan Masia is 17th, Justina Vietti lines up 18th. 19th for Aizan Guevara, Zonta van der Gerberg's 20th with Marcos Ramirez 21st, and Will Sasaki is 22nd alongside 23rd for Philip Salak, Mario Argi is 24th. 25th for Alex Escray, Javier Cardenas is 26th, 27th David Munoz, and 28th for Javier Artegas. 22 laps ahead of us then for Moto2 and the Grand Prix of Indonesia. Let's check in with our TNT Sport commentators as we head up on the warm-up lap.
Vietti as well, 18th on the grid though after crash during qualifying. He won, of course, last time out in Misano. And Joe Roberts starts in 8th place. I'll remind you, he's still 3rd in the championship, 45 points behind. You have to say, Michael, that the ball is in this man's court. Ayagura, Norman Rank seemed ever so calm down there, but the one thing that stuck out to me was he was questioning the European rider's ability to deal with these conditions.
Yeah, and it can be the case at times, but all these riders, they're athletes now. They've been preparing here for a few days. The couple of days on track does allow your body to adapt to these temperatures. You don't sweat as much. You're not as drained after dealing with 29 degrees on air temperature and almost 60 on track. So yeah, it's hot, it's humid out there, it is physical, but I don't think the likes of Jake Dixon will be worrying about the physicality. Aaron Canet likewise. We've seen Aaron struggle a little bit in the heat in previous races, but normally he handles it quite well, so I don't think I can rest on Ryder's fading as the race goes on. He usually manages it so well himself, whether it's his own physical energy or his tyre consumption. You got to say he's the rider who does deal with it better than most.
Talking of tyres, soft has been put in for the majority of the field. There's a few outliers here and there. Sobcat Chantra's gone for a harder front. But still the medium front. In fact, there is a harder option available to them, so he's gone for the medium front. I should correct everyone else on the softer option, and the softer option seems to be working. So then it's going to be who's going to manage it, Michael.
Yeah, it is. It's working soft front, soft rear for the majority of the field. So yeah, manage your consumption, and it does seem like there's no big consumption issues. The track's not as abrasive as it was 1 year ago. With
now that is the case. And that's what we're seeing, especially for the front runners, as well as soft front, soft rear compound tyre. Only on the order that of Alonso Lopez, who's taken a medium front, soft rear. Everyone else is soft front, soft rear tyre then. The Moto2 Grand Prix of Indonesia is about to launch into action here. We're ready for the red lights to come on, and when they go on, we'll be under a 3-second pause. Now, away we go. Good start from Jake Dixon. Good start from Aaron Canet. Jumping up in the middle of the field, though, was the 18, though, of Manuel Gonzalez. He's dropped out a bit. Down into turn 1. Aaron Canet should have the lead. Coming out of nowhere and almost wiping out Jake Dixon. That's not how you want to go, but it's Ayagua who's got the lead of the race as they come through. Down into turns 2 and 3. Juan Macia's crashed out, so Juan Macia's gone down. That's why the yellow flag's around the first sector. So Macia, oh, and that's, yeah, okay, this might require a red flag. Juan Macia at turn 1 is in pain, and yeah, this might require a stoppage to the race. We'll wait to see what's going to happen. Sergio Garcia has dropped down a couple of places as well as they come into the braking zone now. Hard on the brakes coming into turn number 6 as well. Jake Dixon coming through. Oh, hello, someone's flying off the circuit there. That's Somkat Chantra. Oh, we got 2 down. Oh, hello, they're all dropping off. What's happening here? Somkat Chantra's gone wide, and then Senna Igas has crashed out. So that's Chantra going wide. Lopez takes a goer, and Aaron Canet's retaking the lead of the race. Well, it's all happening here. No sign of the red flag at the moment, but I've got Senna Igas crashed. I think they might have to stop this one. If Macia is still there at the circuit, Vietti Munoz dropping back a couple of places as well. We're coming into that part of the track. Still no sign of the red flag at the moment. We're coming into... I don't like this because Macia was right on the racing line and the yellow flag's still there. Surely this isn't going to need to be a red flag. If the doctors are there, we've got to stop the race. Over the line, lap 1 complete. Canet, Lopez, Agura, Dixon, Aldeguer got the top 5 through 1, 2 and 3. The yellow flags are still there. Please don't tell me the doctors and the marshals are at that part of the set. Yes, they are. They're moving Macia's bike away. Macia does not seem to be in that zone of the track anymore, so that's great news. I hope Juan Macia is okay. The marshals are moving his bike. We're going to see a replay of it either way if we like it or not. As Fermanagh to get against Jake Dixon. So where's Macia in that little melee? There he is on the outside. I'm watching him now. He's going to get tagged there. And he gets unsettled. So Juan Macia, oh, and it's a nasty high side. Oh, and he lands on his head as well. Oh, it's with Philip Salak as well. That's a nasty one, that one. I really Chantra's in the pits. Somkat Chantra's out of the race. And everyone was just going down there as well. And that opening lap as well. So there we see Senna Igas coming down. What an absolutely ridiculous start to the race that was. Don't like that at all. The race should have been stopped. Again, they never take any notice. They never do, ever. So Igas runs down, and Macia, still no word on his. Is that okay? That's Somkat Chantra back into the pit lane. Canet leads with a 1:34.214, 20 laps to go. Has the red flags come out? What happened there? I thought the race had been stopped for a second because all the messages on the timing screen went off. So 25 left in the race. Chancha, Igus and Garcia are out. I generally thought the red flag had come out then for the way they'd stopped. Zonta van der Gerberg has been given a double long lap penalty to attend now to the stewards. Izan Guevara has a 1:34.197. He's got the race fastest lap at the moment as they'll continue to hold in. So, after a quite dramatic opening couple of laps, Alan Canet leads, Alonso Lopez second. Jake Dixon's got a problem. Jake Dixon's out of there. Is it Dixon out? Cardeleas has crashed out. Dixon's out. Jake Dixon has crashed out of the race then. Oh, Jake. Well, Zane Corney got out yesterday in qualifying. It's happened again. Susie Perry seems to be just a curse at the moment. No. Dixon's out of the race.
Pushing a little too hard. You've still got a full fuel load down into turn 10, and it is one of those corners like turn 16, easy to lose the front. And you mentioned it 2 years ago, he did lose the front in the very same corner, but yeah, obviously Jake had pace for the latter laps of the race, but he won't get to go the distance today. So we're seeing it is irresponsible riding for the penalty, double long lap for Zonta. But yeah, I do agree, turn 1, the melee, it gets a little bit crowded in there. Obviously he has the information, but the problem is his head's down the inside of the bike and he can't quite see he's about to make contact with Garcia on his outside. But obviously he's made the crash happen for Garcia, so yeah, immediately awarded the penalty.
Jake Dixon has rejoined at the back of the field. Perhaps a chance to pick up some points for him, but a disappointing day in Indonesia. These Asian races haven't been too kind to him.
We already just started.
A bit of a problem here. This was Manu Gonzalez. He's on the dirty part of the racetrack there. Yeah.
Front
coming
buckles.
back to the line, and that's why he loses the front. Frustrated with himself.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Manu down the inside did put him slightly off his entry line, so on the slightly dirty part, it's easy to fold under Aldeguer down the inside of Ayagura.
Yeah, again, more position change between the two. Fabian Aldeguer coming back. Agura can't find anything, so Agura retakes third, and Aldeguer down into fourth place as things currently stand as well. So the racing taking a bit of a back step for a change here in moto action as side by side round the outside from Aldeguer coming back through. They're all over the place at the moment. You cannot tell who is where and who needs to be in what places at the moment. This is just insanity at the moment for MotoGP. I don't know whether to laugh or cry what's happening out there on the circuit right now. They all can't work together. Sort of like putting your hands up and going, okay, boss, it's a fair cop, but who's going to have the alternative as we come across the line to start lap 6 of 22. Ancanet with a 1:33.840, sorry. He's got the fastest lap of the race so far. 1.9 seconds faster to Alonso Lopez and Agura in this little mix melee. Zonta van der Gerberg has got that double online penalty. Dixon has rejoined the race as well, and it was due to irresponsible riding, why everyone's coming through right now as well. Let's turn back to be
races when he's out front, when he's at the pace.
Yeah. It is a difficult one to manage, but I think Aaron's always had tyre under him in the last few races. He just lost out in the fight, so it is a different strategy today. 2.1 seconds gap, that's a huge margin after just 4 laps. So yeah, he's obviously dropped the hammer early doors there and confident he can get it all the way to the flag.
Best race we've seen in Moto2 from Izan Guevara. He's just got past Dennis Onchu. He's in 7th behind Darren Binder, who's having a good ride here today. So Guevara 7th, Onchu 8th, Roberts in 9th. He's just done a personal best lap, having started on the 3rd row of the grid. At the front, Canet leads, Lopez in 2nd. Again, Lopez is someone we've seen drop late in the race in terms of his pace. But he's currently keeping tabs on Agura and Aldeguer behind him.
Canet's still stretching it out on this lap as well. I do think Lopez maybe is keeping his powder slightly dry, not trying to really drop the hammer and get back to Aran Canet, because he'll be once bitten, twice shy. You think back to Catalunya, another hot race with high tyre consumption, and he absolutely dropped off a cliff at the latter part of the race. So yeah, he's maybe managing it a little bit better in these early laps.
When I spoke to Steno Ages earlier in the weekend, he said there will be a drop, not quite Barcelona proportions, but there will be, particularly on the front.
Yeah, the front tyre is the worst because they're all gone with that soft option bar 1. and it's just not going to grip up the way you want it to. Now, we don't get that time information up here for Moto 2. We do get it, however, in Moto GP, so watch out for that when we transfer back over as well to the action. So, Aaron Canet leads by 2.5 seconds. What we were expecting has now gone on. Aizan Guevara to drop 1 position. So, to drop behind Dennis Onchu, according to race control messages. So, he's now being told to back out of that overall runaround, which is a bit of a shame, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. You have to take one for the team and accept that that's the ruling from the stewards. Just going to make sure it's all working. Yep, we are. It's a very weird weekend. We're all sort of just doing what we're expecting to be done. There's 54. So there's Fernando Aguirre with Aguirre right behind him. Alonso Lopez directly ahead. So they're batting over 2, 3, and 4. Canet's got the advantage by 3 seconds now. Lap 7 of 22. 16 laps to go of the Indonesia Grand Prix. Aizan Guevara overtaking under a yellow flag. That's the reason he's been told to drop 1 grid position by the race stewards. Kind of expected that to come up as well from race control. Sadly, that was the case. Crash MotoGP have got the wrong saying here. They're saying, really hope Songkran Chantra is okay. Seems in a lot of pain. It's not Songkran Chantra. It's Juan Masia who is in a lot of pain. So it's Juan Masia who needs sympathies at the moment. That's who I'm hoping is okay. Is the rider at high side, not the rider who had a chain fall off and the bike die. Down at the front. So Canet now leads by over 3 seconds. Look at the back. Fernando just closing in on Alonso Lopez. Unfortunately, this seems to be the bit of a boring race, Moto 2 today. Anything can happen in 16 laps, but so far, it's Canet just dropping away. Zonta van der Gerberg has completed his long lap penalties by the stewards as well, so he has now adjusted back into the action.
Judging on current form, be able to join them, but he's not had a good run of it over the first few laps, stuck down in 14th.
Yeah, he ran wide, didn't he, at turn 10.
Second.
Early on in the race. Good to have a look back at that when this race is finished. Look how tight Aldeguer rides in behind Lopez. Lopez looks to me already like he's not struggling, but just you feel like Aldeguer's got more pace. He's holding them up.
Yeah, it's almost protective lines from Lopez. Ever so slightly, he can sense, and he will be getting the signal on his pit board to tell him that he has his teammate in close company, and Ayagura right there. So, yeah, I think he's holding on to the podium fight, knowing that battling with Aaron Canet isn't a possibility today.
Here we go, through 3 and 4. Then onto the right-hand side now. Look how close Aldeguer is riding to the rear of his teammate, Alonso Lopez.
I do love these shots looking back at the following rider. You see the rear snapping sideways for Alonso as he goes through the fast right-hander at turn 5.
He's just giving himself enough room, hasn't he, here, Lopez? Have to be a big old lunge. Oh, and it was a lunge. I think it was more Alonso running a bit deep. And Aldeguer, who's having to pick the bike up, will have to do all that hard work again. Well, for me, Aldeguer was just desperate to get back past his teammate. This is it from the outside.
I think he misses his back shift, yeah.
Gear, yeah, you're right.
That's why he was signalling just in frustration. So yeah, it happens. He didn't get a clean back shift. He's ended up in a neutral, and then he's had to go again. The safe thing there is to pick it up. He's losing more ground. Obviously, he just needs to settle himself here because he did come back on track ahead of Dennis Onju, unless he has a back shift issue at this stage in the race. So yeah, it's tricky because obviously if the track wasn't dirty out there, he would hang on to the brake a little bit longer and turn in and not lose so much time. But because it's dirty, you have to be really cautious out there not to tuck the front.
So that now moves Aguirre up into 3rd, Gonzalez 4th, Darren Binder into 5th. He's had an excellent ride here, Binder. Oh, that's where he went wrong. He cut the inside curve.
So that's what's happened to Fernando Aguirre. Dropped back into 9th position due to just losing it at 9 and 10. Such a strange situation as well. We've had no update yet, by the way, on Juan Masia. If we do, we'll let you know straight away. But at the moment, it's literally no news on the monitors at all. All we had is that Garcia crashed Ryder OK. He was not Ryder OK. Munoz completes his long lap penalty by the stewards. We look now, there's the 18 of Manuel Gonzalez, who sort of had a bunny hop start. He's closed back up. Canet leads by 3.6 seconds. Now 3.8 seconds. It's growing again and again and again. Track temperature, sorry, air temperature, and now at 29 degrees. It's a bizarre situation we've got going on right now as well. Moto 2, but really the whole MotoGP needs to start taking injuries way, way more seriously. That should have been a red flag situation. A rider lying in pain on the side of the circuit and the medical card is going on, it should have been a red flag. Should have been. Don't know why.
22 laps. They're just about to complete.
They said as well, no information from the steward so far. So 2-3-4 battling it over as well. Canet's 3.8 seconds up the field. That's Canet. It's Lopez, Aguirre and Gonzalez battling it out quite close together. Half a second then to Binder. And then Onchu rounding it as well. Roberts, Aldeguer, Garcia. Gaps are closing actually. Got a new toy to play with up here in the commentary box here. And I'm enjoying immensely, which is see the group gaps. So the battle for seconds are between Lopez, Aguirre, Gonzalez and Binder. And the sixth is Onchu, Gavala, Roberts, Aldeguer, Garcia. So the gap's sort of spreading out between them. I like that little toy. It's a handy little graphic on our monitors. Again, they've got to just hold it together. Lopez, 3/10 up. Last lap time for Canet was a 1:34.833. Lopez a 1:34.528. So just slowly chipping away, but Canet looks in control of this race, just like he did a week ago in Mazzano. This is looking fantastic. Aldeguer gets ahead. Yep, Aguirre up into second. Alonso Lopez down, and Lopez still battling him. We've got Gonzalez in there too. Azan Guevara in P7, battling with Onchu. Over the line again. Lap 12. It's a run now in towards turn 1. Slip up the inside, a little bit of rear stepping out for Alonso Lopez. Aguirre and Gonzalez directly behind him as they come into 2 and 3. Just riding the curb. The switch back here, so brutal if you get it wrong. We've seen multiple accidents at this part of the circuit this weekend. Hard to get it right, especially when you want to push for a run and you don't want to lose out on anything extra. It's going well so far, to be fair. They're not having as big a disadvantage as I thought they would do. Canet 4.9 seconds, then the gap. Now we just wait as Moto 2 continues to deliver some balmy racing. Canet's 5 seconds ahead now of the leaders.
Robertson, actually Aldeguer back in the back of those riders, so yeah, he could join the party here if Alonso continues to roadblock for a few laps. And there's Sergio Garcia as well in 10th place, and we know Garcia will be strong in the latter stages. Good start for Sergio Garcia, obviously languishing back in 15th on the grid. Not, I was going to extend it down the inside, but yeah, Garcia not on the pace this weekend that we would expect, and he jumped up to 11th in lap 1, and he's still there inside the top 10, but it's not the Sergio Garcia who we expected to be battling for the title in strong contention over the last part of the season. At the minute, it's a bit of a struggle.
He just squeaked through Q1, didn't he? There we go again, Aguirre taking a wider line as Alonso fires it towards the apex once more. This is what's happening here earlier in the race.
This is where Aldeguer hits Chantra.
Ah, okay, yeah.
I do think he's hurt his leg. Obviously, we remember Loras Baz.
Yeah, it's Chantra's leg. He got jammed in, that's why he went straight on.
He runs straight over his foot there.
And the medical car didn't stop.
And that's the safety car at the back. At the end of the first lap, at the back of the field. Oh, that is going to be horrifically painful for Sonkiat. into the medical centre. Still, Alonso Lopez keeping Ayagura at bay as now Joe Roberts is starting to come forward, Michael. I've noticed on the last couple of laps, he got through, first of all, on Guevara. Now he's got through briefly on Dennis Onchu, who, like Lopez, probably doesn't have the same pace as Roberts has here, but he's doing a good job to keep him at bay.
Yeah, Dennis Onchu, as we know from his Moto3 career, he's a fighter, doesn't give an inch on the racetrack, so there was an opportunity to cut back under Joe Roberts at turn 10, and he took it. But he should really work together with Joe, because you can see this podium battle here. Look at Ayagura.
Here we go, Ayagura there. Oh, that is a huge block pass, isn't it, from Agura. He knew that Lopez was going to go wide. Watch, Lopez will come back at Gonzalez, guaranteed.
I just parked it. It's clean, it's slightly naughty. It's the old motocross block pass. He just parked the bike where Alonso Lopez wanted to be.
Which Lopez would have done to him exactly the same, if not a little bit worse, a little bit firmer. And Agura was labouring, struggling to get past Lopez. It's the only way he was going to do it, and do it in his mind safely, I suppose.
The problem with doing a move like that on the likes of Alonso Lopez is you upset him.
Lopez will just shot it back, yeah.
He wants to pay it back to Ayagura, and when I was fighting for a championship, you don't want a fiery Spaniard who just want to pay you back for a little naughty move out there.
Oh, Roberts getting a bit of a done now by Onchu. Onchu steams it back through. Roberts got caught out completely there as well. Well, this race is starting to heat up as well, but yeah, I'm surprised there that Agura and Lopez still battling this hard, and Lopez going to fight him back. And side by side there, back in comes Fermin Aldeguer coming alongside, get ahead of Roberts. Onchu in P6 now. Roberts down to 8th, Guevara in P9 with Garcia 10th. Chantra has been taken to the medical centre for an update. Still no news on Juan Garcia. We know Chantra, who's into the pit lane, he's got something wrong with his foot after that accident where he got shoved into, but we don't know how Juan Garcia is. The rider who high-sided and landed on his head in the opening stages of this race. No news from race control. It is really bad. Simon Patterson will have more information once he knows. Hello, Simon, if you're watching. As I whack the microphone. So, over the line. 9 laps to go then. Lap 14 of 22. Aaron Canet leads by 6.661 seconds. And now, take a look, quick, 6.666 seconds. Yes! I like that when it matches up. Canet, fantastic with the sign of the beast there as he comes in. Agura holding on Lopez, Gonzalez and Binder. Did someone go down there in the back of my ear? I thought I heard someone in the back of shot. No one at the moment. Very pulled back at the moment, isn't it? The track audio. As they fly back through. There we go. Agura's holding back. Lopez trying to come back through. Roberts feels like he's going to have a go on Dennis Onchu now for 6th position. So the battle for 6th is between Onchu, Roberts, Guevara, Aldeguer, Garcia and Albarino. So 6 to 11 as things stand. Vietti's on his own, so is Albert Arenas coming into it. Battle for 2nd, that's Ayagura, Lopez, Gonzalez and Binder as they separate on the monitors. Well, let's see what you've got. Ayagura would lead the title by 36 points to Sergio Garcia as things would currently stand. Block pass from Agura. Lopez he's holding on to the back of him to try and see if he can fight back through. 8 to go. There's Aaron Canet leading, like 15 and 22. Got to be so careful now as well. This is actually turning into quite an entertaining little race because we know that Canet's got the advantage, but it's who's saved their tyres the most to do a push later on in the race. They all started soft front, soft rear, bar one rider. So it's got the opportunity to go there. That, I believe, was Manuel Gonzalez, who you saw having a bit of a buckaroo moment on that restart. So here is Ayagura. Gap 4/10 to him and Alonso Lopez. Lopez under pressure from Manuel Gonzalez. Gonzalez looks on the inside line. Last lane breaker sends it up the inside. Lopez will cut back. Gonzalez can't defend it coming through turn 10. Surprise, surprise. Here in Lombok. Binder's coming in now, this as well in 5th position. He's not done. He's going to hunt him down. And Roberts up the inside, spooking Dennis Onchu out of the way. What a battle.
It's good to see Darren Binder back in the scrap for these higher order placings. So yeah, I think if it comes down to the battle, he's always ready for it.
Isan Guevara on Onchu helps Joe Roberts on that occasion because it means the Turk cannot fight back at the Californian. So Roberts now up into 6th. His pace is quicker than the trio in front of him.
Good recovery from Aldeguer again. Once again getting back across to this group after being off track and almost folding the front. You can see Arbolino just back behind Sergio Garcia.
Guevara wide, and he's going to come close with Dennis Onchu towards turn 2. Just manages to hang on, but that will release Roberts, you would have thought. We know, we've seen it early on in this season. The likes of Roberts, Agura, Garcia, late in a race, usually have pace. Oh, here we go. And Sergio Garcia, that right there could mean Ayagura taking charge of this championship, 10th place, labouring all weekend.
Yeah, and that's the stupid error. Just gets it on the curb and he's already turning at the exit. So he's on the curb and turning. The front just goes down at 5 and 6 exit. Sergio Garcia, second in the Moto2 World Championship, goes down. Ayagura now takes that lead by 42 points. Unbelievable. That is another defining moment in the Moto2 World Championship. Garcia throwing away the title. We say Moto3 is dominated, Moto2 and MotoGP, the World Championships that nobody wants to win. Especially Moto2, it just keeps on changing. Aaron Canet leads by 6.6 seconds with 6 laps to go.
Recent rounds, and you go 3 podiums in 5 races. He's been there every single time. So with a victory today, 6 laps to go to make it happen, brings himself back in with a shout of this title.
For me, Aldeguer's had some race, hasn't he? Here today, he's had contact. He's run over some Getchantra's foot. He's run wide. He's lost the front. Ayagura is being informed by his team that Sergio Garcia is out, and you do want to know it in this kind of situation, don't you, Michael?
Yeah, for sure. You need the information. He's pushed on, dropped his pace a little bit. It's been responded on the last lap by Alonso Lopez, matching Ayagura, but he did put a half a second gap in. So now, do you take risk? Do you push on? This is where I's typically comfortable. As everyone's tyres drop over the last quarter of the race, I usually comes into his own. So yeah, he's got all the information and he can manage it.
Canet's managing things. He was half a second slower than Agura on that last lap. I hope it's not the start of something, Michael. I hope it's not. 6.5 seconds he should be able to manage. But we have seen, talk about Barcelona, lap times that were 7 seconds off where they were at the start of the race. He's dropped his times by about 4 or 5 tenths in the last couple of laps. Manu Gonzalez trying to
go to the outside and sell Alonso Lopez a dummy.
Yeah, trying to conjure up something, wasn't he? There's Agura across the line in second. Lopez third. He's done well here as Alonso Lopez. He's had faster riders behind him for most of this race, and he's kept them at bay.
A little movement from Alonso Lopez in the middle of turn 1. He is fighting hard, never gives in, and he's still got a sight set on 20 points today.
The problem he has, Michael, is his big strength, his attribute is that late braking, isn't it? He's firing it into an apex, and if your front tyre is starting to go, you just lose part of your weaponry.
It's almost all of your arsenal. If that is your main go-to, you can't lean on the tyre, you can't pull the front brake all the way to the apex.
Joe Roberts just come under pressure. I'm just watching this again as Alonso Lopez keeps Manu Gonzalez at bay, but Aldeguer ran through the green paint to overtake Joe Roberts, it looked like, from the shot I saw.
Yeah, if that has been the case, obviously he will immediately be told to drop a position, but if he straight lined the chicane, it could be a long lap penalty.
Yeah, it looked to me like he just ran on the inside. I'd love to see the move again.
Oh, we'll hopefully see that shortly up here from race control. Meantime, Joe Roberts lining up again for Aldeguer into turn 15 and into 16 now. Trying to look on the inside line. It's a part of the track where you can easily drop the front, but Roberts has got such a great exit. Oh, go on, Joe. Oh, I thought he had it there. Inside line at turn 16. Had so much better power. Couldn't get it down with Aldeguer swooping back to take the inside line for turn 17. Over the line. 4 to go then here in Moto2's Indonesia Grand Prix. It's been a strange one. It has, let's not deny it. It's been a weird race. Still no news on Juan Masia at all from race control. It will bring it to you in Moto GP if we have anything. Reminder that the MotoGP action is going to be on the main JB Motorsports channel. So instead of JB Motorsports 2, it'll be JB Motorsports. The link is in the YouTube description. If you're watching us on Twitch, you don't have to do a thing. You can stay here throughout the entire day. Munoz has a long lap penalty now. So Munoz has been given the warning by race control and will have to serve the long lap penalty here in Lombok. Indonesia playing once again a fantastic venue. I love this circuit, especially in the dry. In the wet, it's nearly unrideable, but in the dry, it's fantastic venue. Aguirre pulled out 1.3 seconds now to the battle for third between Lopez, Gonzalez and Binder. That's 3, 4 and 5 in that little segregation. Vietti gets ahead of Albert Arenas in the battle for 13th position. He moves up into 14th. Come on, Alwin Munoz with that long lap penalty, as I said, for track limits. But Gonzalez on the back of Alonso Lopez and is really now starting to push hard, really trying to find the way through. 3 laps to go then here in Indonesia. Let's spend this one with TNT.
Still Canet leads by 6.2. Ayogura comfortably in second now. 1.3 clear of this battle for the final podium position. Michael, which way is it going to go?
Well, Darren Binder obviously crashed out of podium contention in Mugello, but this is the first real true shot for him. And I think he might put it all on the line. Oh. It's going to be an interesting last 2.5 laps.
Lopez rear tyre protesting then as he tried to get on the gas. Surely that will have upset his rhythm through here.
Manu Gonzalez looking composed on the direction change to set up a run down the hill.
This is where Aldeguer went through on Roberts previously. And you see Manu Gonzalez just doesn't have enough drive. Lopez again, he's got to run wide again.
Yeah, second
but somehow
time.
He makes his bike so wide.
Yeah, he's good at, I think he uses a lot of rear brake to pull it down to the apex, so he's just sort of parking it there in the middle of turn 10, brakes really deep, stops it, doesn't allow any room for a rider to cut back in under him, so yeah, he's difficult to pass in this race.
Top left, Aaron Canet all by himself at the front of this one. The gap is closing, but it's not going to matter. He's going to take his second win of the season and put himself in.
Oh, Gonzalez right on the backside of corner caution there, Gav, because on the inside line, turn 16, Gonzalez has made the move on the inside line and gets ahead. Lopez going to try and swing back at the outside at 17, makes the move. Is that going to allow Darren Binder to get a little bit of traction as we start 2 laps to go here at the Indonesia Grand Prix? Over the line they come. Canet leads by 6.1 seconds, a country mile practically. Binder trying to have a look on the inside line. Leaves out Gonzalez. Not going to have anything there, I'm afraid. Play it slow, play it nice and cool, and you might be able to sneak through on the inside line. An amazing little battle we're witnessing as Aaron Canet leads by 6 seconds at the moment. Aguirre leads by a total of 1.5 to the monitors. Battle for third between Lopez, Gonzalez, Binder and Aldeguer now. So Femi Aldeguer's got himself back in this little hunt as well. He's now classified as part of the battle. Just on the outside of it, but you can see why. Oh, Gonzalez this time tries the outside line. Oh, inside line at 15. Oh, beautiful move. Manuel Gonzalez moves up into third position, but Lopez is going to fight right back at him. He's not going to take this one lying down. Through on the inside line. Lopez back. Down into turn 16. Touching the brake ever so slightly. Lopez going to come through as well. Holds it back. Femi Aldeguer's there. Dan Binder's there. brother of Brad. Oh, hey, hello. Fermin Aldeguer sends up the inside of Binder and makes a move for 5th position. Over the line for the last time in Moto 2. Aaron Canet leads by 6 seconds. It'll take a miracle to stop him now. Ayagura will continue the lead in the Moto 2 Championship. Gonzalez holding on. Aldeguer's closing in as well as they come through. This is the battle for the final podium spot then. Lopez, Gonzalez, Aldeguer and Binder. Oh, hello. Aldeguer clipped the curb there. I wonder if that would be a bit of a long line penalty. Aaron Canet, I thought was off the circuit for a second. No, he's just taking the normal racing line. Thought Aaron Canet was off. He's still on, and he's coming into the last couple of sectors. He's in sector 3 now. Gonzalez trying to go left and right. Hasn't worked out. Up the inside goes Fermin Aldeguer. Runs out Gonzalez. He's not going to like that. Binder goes through. Aldeguer, well, if the status quo is now what an air bashing he did is legal, that's going to be a perfectly legal move for Fermin Aldeguer to just run Gonzalez wide and off the circuit. There's nothing at all that can be done, unfortunately. Through they come once again then, into the last 2 corners. Couldn't do it at Mazzano, can do it now. Fastest man all weekend, he's showing off at the last corner. He's the maniac, back on top. Aaron Canet wins the Indonesia Grand Prix of Moto 2 in superb, dominating style. Ayagura finishes 2nd to extend his lead in the World Championship. And Alonso Lopez finishes in 3rd. From Fermin Aldeguer, Darren Binder, the top 5. What a race. Let's change over to TNT and get their closing thoughts.
Across in 9th.
That's a poor last lap for Gonzalez to drop all those places, but Aldeguer, I'd like to see if he did have an opportunity in the final sector to try and move on teammate Alonso Lopez. Alonso did hold off. He's had plenty of practice throughout the race to hold the position, but yeah, what a last few laps from Aldeguer. That was impressive to come back to 4th.
Aaron Canet is going to move up in the championship into 3rd place. He's telling people to be quiet. Yeah, so you should. He has silenced the haters today by taking victory in the Grand Prix of Indonesia. Ayagura has extended his championship lead as Jake Dixon, well, that's his championship shot gone. He crashed out early on, remounted to finish 23rd. We'll have all the reaction to that race when we come back from the break.
So here's your result then. Aaron Canet wins the Moto 2 Grand Prix from Ayagura and Alonso Lopez. Then it's Fermin Aldeguer, Darren Binder, Joe Roberts, Isaac Guevara, Tony Albarino, Manuel Gonzalez and Dennis Onchu as your top 10. Then it's Ramirez, Boltas, Vietti, Alcoba and Arenas the final point. Then it's Salak, Sasaki, Van der Gerberg, RG, Escray, Artegas, Munoz, Dixon 23rd. Out of the race was Garcia, Cardaleas, Chancha, Senna Igas, and our thoughts with Juan Masia. Hopefully he is okay. In terms of the World Championship, this is how things look. Ayagura leads on 208 points. He's 42 clear to Sergio Garcia, 52 clear to Aaron Canet. Everybody down from Tony Albarino, so he's on 87. So Somkat Chantra down, now cannot win the Moto 2 World Championship. 10 still remain, but it's Ayagura with an advantage at 42. An amazing weekend then for Moto 3 and Moto 2 here in Lombok, Mandalika, Indonesia. Thanks for your company. Join us in 7 days' time for the junior action once again kicking off in Moto 3 and Moto 2. Next up on JBMotorsports, on the main YouTube channel and on Twitch, it's the Indonesia Grand Prix for the Premier Class action. Join us in the links below for all of that. But for Moto 2 in Indonesia, thanks for your company. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.